All right, so today we're going deep on a scene that I think really hit a lot of us right in the feels, and that's the Maverick and Iceman reunion in Top Gun. Maverick.
You know, it's really interesting how that scene worked on so many levels.
Mhm.
What we're going to try to do today is figure out what exactly made it resonate so strongly, not just for us watching, but for Tom Cruise himself.
Right. And we've got some great material to help us break this down. There's a really insightful article about Tom Cruise's reaction while they were actually filming it. And then we've also got some really powerful passages from Val Kilmer's own memoir.
That's right.
So we can kind of get both sides of that story.
Yeah.
Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to unpack all those layers of emotion. You know what was happening on screen, what was going on behind the scenes, really trying to understand why it was such a powerful experience for Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. I mean, the return of Val Kilmer as Iceman, this was something fans were dying to see, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It was huge GE. I mean, Iceman, he wasn't just another pilot. He was like that perfect foil to Maverick in the original.
Oh, yeah. You really can't overstate how important that dynamic was. I mean, Iceman, he represented that tension, that friction that Maverick needed to grow. Their rivalry really pushed Maverick in that first film.
Yeah.
So to see him back in the sequel, I mean, that brought so much expectation with it. And it was a huge nostalgia hit for sure.
It wasn't just like a, hey, remember me kind of cameo either.
Right.
What's really interesting is how they actually took Val Kilmer's real-life battle with throat cancer and wrote that into Iceman's story. So suddenly, it wasn't just a beloved character coming back. You had this really human, real-life element that added so much more weight to that scene, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It stopped being just about seeing a familiar face and became about seeing someone we all knew and liked having to deal with something incredibly difficult and real.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really raised the stakes emotionally. And every single moment between him and Maverick became so much more meaningful.
And that brings us to the specific scene that we're really breaking down here.
Yeah.
The moment where Iceman gives Maverick that final piece of advice. And it's not even a long scene, but man, it's packed with emotion.
Right.
What do you think it is about that moment that makes it so powerful?
Well, it's interesting. It has this quiet intimacy to it. It's not just two pilots, talk and shock. These are two men who have this long history together. They have this understanding that goes way beyond words,
Yeah.
It's forged through years of shared experiences. So when Iceman gives that advice, it's not just about flying. It feels like a mentor passing on something really profound at a key moment. It's like he says so much without actually saying a lot, you know?
Yeah. And that takes us to Tom Cruise's reaction because, he actually admitted on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he cried during the filming of that scene.
Oh, wow.
He said that he got emotional because he's known Val Kilmer for decades, and to see him back as Iceman, he called him a powerful actor and said it really hit him hard. It sounds like more than just, respect between actors. It feels really personal.
It really does. And it makes you think about, how actors can get so closely tied to these iconic roles and how we, as the audience, our awareness of their real lives can make those performances even more meaningful. It makes you wonder how much our perception of a character is shaped by knowing the person behind it. And, their history together in Hollywood, the massive success of the original Top Gun, all of that had to feed into the emotions of that moment on screen.
It's almost like we're not just watching Maverick and Iceman.
Right.
We're seeing Tom and Val connect again.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer's perspective is fascinating, too. Apparently, the producers didn't even contact him initially about being in the movie, but he was determined to come back as Iceman.
Really?
Yeah, it shows a real dedication to the character and that relationship, Why do you think he felt so strongly about coming back?
Well, it raises an interesting question about an actor's connection to roles that really define parts of their career. For Kilmer, Iceman, it wasn't just a gig. It was a character he clearly had a deep connection to, even after all these years.
Yeah.
Maybe he understood how important that relationship with